Good to go, Mr. McIntosh.
Okay. Good evening. I'm Jerry McIntosh, and this is Our Voices, the People's Media. Tonight, there's a look on WBQP TV, along with our Facebook, Roku, Fire Stick, and YouTube. So we'll go straight to it there.
Okay, good evening, everybody. We thank you for bearing with us as we were off last week, but we are happy to be back with you. We will continue in our normal fashion and do our normal host roundtable, and I will start back with you, Mr. McIntosh. What is it that you have that folks need to know that's up and coming, and things that we need to hear about?
We're having a little Christmas get together over at Move for Change this Thursday coming. It starts at 5:30 p.m. We're asking all the members to bring a covered dish so that everybody can indulge into, and that we can kind of socialize together at Move for Change. That's this Thursday at 5:30 p.m. until we get ready to go home.
All right, sounds good. Thank you. Remember, you said that's going to be at Moving for Change. What's the address?
1603 North Davis Highway. Again, that's 1603 North Davis Highway.
Okay, we will go over to Okaloosa County with Julie Staggs. Jill, good evening. What do you have to share with us?
Hello, everyone. I'm so glad to be here this evening. Background, there you go. So I'm not floating in the puzzle pieces. We just had all of our parades. So Fort Walton, Niceville, Crestview all just had their Christmas parades. So if you were able to join that, that was great. We have a get together on the 16th for Okaloosa Democrats. And that is going to be at 6 o'clock at the Niceville City Council chambers at 218 Parton Drive. If you are coming, bring your favorite dish and or drink, and we are going to have a good time trying to bring Okaloosa back into alignment with what we are supposed to be doing. And on the 15th, that's what I was going to look up, but Derek went to me so fast. Do you have the location, Derek? I know it's Okaloosa County, so I should know, but I know that we're getting together. Equal Ground will do a press conference first, and then we will speak to our elected officials that'll be there to hear us. And I know Equal Ground is speaking on the redistricting, going to speak, and then Nicole from Real Women Radio is going to speak. I'm going to speak, and I'm not sure who else they have, but you're welcome to join us. I know they've already done this a long time ago in Escambia County and Santa Rosa. Okaloosa likes to just make things a little bit more difficult. And I believe that they purposely put it during the week that kids get out of school so that less people would come. And so we should probably address that while we're up there. We'll see if we can't make that happen as well. And then we look forward to the events that will be happening for the MLK parade and all of that. And we'll go over that next week. And all the Black History events that will be coming up. I think that's all I have for now. Thank you so much.
The address for the Okaloosa legislative delegation meeting with the those in Tallahassee as well as Equal Ground, Jill said, is on December the 15th, which is tomorrow at 5:30 p.m. It is at the Okaloosa County Administrative Building, which is located at 1250 Eglin Parkway in Shalimar. Friday at 6 p.m. from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. at the Pensacola Improv Event Center. That is at 375 North. Thankful for this year, so we're thankful for this year, so we're going.
That things was handled on this past Thursday. Once again, they did not have. They went through this time, Pink, and so that's a lot of the things that we're taking care of now. As y'all all know, with many of these nonprofit organizations, especially voting rights and voter engagement organizations, a lot of times we have at that that particular meeting, I was at the very first meeting, as we all were. I was at the very first meeting, as we all were. On December 4th, I know that was no, because we did not have a show. No, because we did not have a show on that particular Sunday. So we can discuss that one as well. So let's get into the first meeting, December 4th, in Tallahassee at the good state capitol was the very first meeting for the Select Committee for Congressional Redistricting. This is a committee that has been put together by the State House in regards to this mid-decade redistricting fiasco that many states are doing across the country. And of course, as we all know, Governor Ron DeSantis' mantra is anything anyone else can do, I can do worse. And so we have this particular committee. The committee is looking to realign maps in a way that the Republican Party, according to the chair of the state Republican Party, they can get 5 additional seats. And there is a map circulating around social media. Many of our state legislators have shared it on their Instagram pages and other social media pages that show the actual 5 districts that they are targeting. They are targeting, per usual, here in the state of Florida, Black and brown districts across the state, leaving Black and brown representation to be at only 3 congressional districts in Congress for the state of Florida. And so we got there. The meeting was scheduled for an hour. The meeting was over with in 20 minutes because they literally just did a brief overview of what the congressional redistricting process is. And they did not take any public comment from any of the many people who came. I think we had upwards of 125, 150, close to 200 people that showed up on buses from across the state of Florida. Shout out to the Escambia County and Panhandle constituents who showed up to be a part of said activities. We all filled out cards. We all filled out comment cards, hopefully getting an opportunity to be able to have some sort of comment. As I said before, 20 minutes for a meeting that was scheduled for an hour. So you had 30 minutes left, where if not everybody could have spoken, at least a good portion of people could have spoken, and no opportunity for anybody to speak. Once they were done with the overview of redistricting, that was it. God bless you. Good night. And we were all left looking befuddled and dumbfounded as to why there was no opportunity for anybody to speak. But it still gave us a good opportunity to understand what they were looking for in regards to the redistricting process. We also were told this is a key piece to this mid-decade redistricting situation. We were told that the 2025 population data for the state of Florida would not be the data that would be used for this redistricting process. The data that would be used would be the 2020 census population data. So now it begs the question of where, if we're using the 2020 census data, which was the data that was used for the original maps in 2022, then why are we even doing this redistricting process in the first place? And so that's where we're at in regards to the whole redistricting situation. That's my time. Thank you.
Mr. McIntosh, you went. What were your thoughts?
I don't want to say on here, but but anyway, yeah, that it was it was atrocious what they did to really. They're really undermining the democratic democracy overall in this country, and at the head of this this state governor who is one of the most sorriest governors in the history of this province in Florida, along with the president of the United States, two of the same piece of crap in the same basket that need to be flushed somewhere. So these individuals are doing everything they can to not only erase history, but to erase us from even having a voice in politics. So, yeah, it was atrocious what they did, but we have to just keep fighting and organizing as much as possible.
Jill, you have comments?
I do. I thought, actually, that I thought the meeting was supposed to start at 1. And so I thought they strategically started at 1:30 so that they would only have 30 minutes. So that when he did his 10-minute, oh, this is what we're going to do. And oh, by the way, I know you came from all across the state of Florida, but we're not going to let you speak or talk or do anything. And oh, by the way, also, we're going to be fair and we're not going to do any of the drawing of the maps that's going to hurt any certain political party. And then the whole room bust out laughing. I think that it shows what we're up against. I think this is a good visionary 2020, end of 2025, going into 2026 of what this year is going to look like. And so it's going to require that every single individual that can gets engaged. And so whether that's getting on a bus going to Tallahassee or making sure that you hold your local elected officials accountable, and can I say this with all you wonderful Escambia people on there? That's all your elected officials. All of them. Every single one of them. Not just the ones that you might not like, but every single one of them. It is now time that we hold everybody accountable. Democrat, Republican, MP, I don't care what you are. If you're not doing the right thing, get them out. Because local is where you're going to have the stronghold. And you guys are fortunate in Escambia County to have the ability to have the stronghold there, or at least have a lot of Democrats elected. In Okaloosa County, we have 3. One's in a very small Cinco Bayou area. One is, I believe, the mayor of Valpy, and then we have a city council person. And we don't struggle for 2 of them, but for the city council seat, they had to run 4 times just to get in. We have 4 more seats that will be open, and it will be a struggle. So I would just say to everybody, you didn't listen to us on Project 2025, so you should. I don't know, it's the end of the year. I wish we could do a flashback. I wish we had the ability, Mr. McIntosh, to show a video. And I want to start with them dancing in their songs, you know, that they had, Trump, 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 Trump. And then I just want to take them through where we are right now, and hope that seeing that would give them that passion, that need, that desire, take them through the shutdown, take them through the fact that your legislators were not out there working for you. They did not have food banks for you. They were not taking care of our veterans or our military, or our homeless. It was terrible what they did. I went on a whole diatribe, sorry. But it was terrible what they did. I'm sure it's in the playbook. I'm sure it's in Project 2025 somewhere. We should have known.
50s, 60s type deal. 50s, 60s type deal. But even still,
wave in opposition. We had folks, I know my former chair and now state committee person, Lil, spent a couple of days writing her comments that she wanted to give and was unable to do so because they didn't allow that. And then to know that we were asked to come back on the 10th for the same scenario to happen again is unfathomable. But I do understand, or as I understand it, rather, they're drawing out this process and not allowing folks because they from the Supreme Court to rule on the case from Louisiana to add that special minority seat. Jamil, do you have any additional information on that so folks can understand why there's a delay and what they're doing more on that?
So with that, there's a redistricting case that is currently in the United States Supreme Court, Louisiana versus Calais, minority district. The governor was like, no, they shouldn't have that district. That fact, the state legislature as well as the governor is dragging their feet on getting this situation taken care of, so that way they can wait on Louisiana versus Calais. Senate President Albritton has stated in countless interviews that is one of the reasons as to why they are looking for this situation to be halted or be concluded. I am actually about to pull up some comments that he made in a press advisory, I want to say about a week or so ago. And so once I find those comments, I will come back and throw it back to you, Derek.
So just so everybody can see it, I put it up briefly when Jamil was talking earlier, but this is what they expect if this process continues to move in the Florida legislature. This is what the proposed map would look like. If you're unfamiliar, when we talk about congressional districts, there are 28 in the state of Florida. 20 of them are held by Republicans and 8 are held by Democrats. I think I got that right. I don't think there are any independents. So I know there are 8 Democrats, so I'm just going to deduce that there are 20 Republicans.
You are correct.
Thank you. In that, what their proposed map does, which I don't think our area will see as much of an issue with the redistricting, but it would impact the areas in Central and South Florida. So if you look at it, these 5 seats that are listed here, congressional district, the 10th, the 14th, the 22nd, 23rd, and 25th, are held by Democrats. So most of us are all familiar with our congressional or Representative Maxwell Frost, who's out of Orlando. Kathy Castor is the 14th congressional district out of Tampa, and 22nd, 23rd, and 25th are like Palm Beach and Broward and Miami-Dade counties. Those seats would be redistricted to put more Republicans in those areas, thus by making it impossible for those sitting Democrats to be reelected. And as you heard Jamil say, doesn't make sense considering that they're using the same census data from 2020 to redraw a map that's already been drawn with the same data. Makes no sense. So I'm actually going to go ahead.
So I'm actually going to go ahead and give some of the comments that Senate President Albritton stated, and these are comments from a press conference that was held on Monday, this past Monday, the 8th. So, asked if he's planning on waiting for the Calais decision, he said, yes, it makes sense to wait. he was asked about the special session changing qualifying dates for candidates in April for federal office. He acknowledged that, but he didn't seem fazed with it being an issue. It was pointed out to him that there is no new data and that the data from 2020 is now pretty old. He responded that the goal is to have congressional maps that comply with the law, and that's the reason to wait for the Calais decision. So then he was asked, then why redistrict at all? His response was that when SCOTUS, Supreme Court, rules on that case, it could have an impact on the validity of the districts in place today. If the goal is to have them adhere to the law and a decision changes that, then so be it. Then he was asked, is a special session the right place to do this? Why not just wait for regular session? He responded, well, why not wait for the court decision? I also want people to know and understand two key things about us even having to be in this nonsense of mid-decade redistricting. The first thing is that in 2010, the people, the voters of the state of Florida overwhelmingly voted in favor of an amendment that is known as the Fair Districts Amendment. Fair Districts Amendment, but also on the state of Florida Constitution. So that's the first thing. The second thing is that the United States Supreme Court, there have been justices in the United States Supreme Court since the Fair District Amendments has that. But if the Louisiana versus Calais decision, goes in favor of the opposition, it will then come
to not do the uphold. All right, we are going to transition over, and we're going to talk about things. We're going to transition over, and we're going to talk about things that happened here locally this week. In your thoughts on the meeting,
dumb. They think we're stupid. They took the city council and I'm going to stop saying those. They get questioned a lot, but I find that they work. But anyhow, and they did not expect me and Haley to walk into the room, and they did not expect me and Haley to walk into the room while they were doing their bidding, I had to step in on something. I could swore I was gonna go to jail. It's rare when when an individual. I mean, it's becoming trendy now to get. I feel like if I was to walk to that's from that meeting, ton of stuff. Like I really enjoy it when I got a chance to speak because I'm normally, oh, you guys think you want these seats up here. You think you want these statewide. So I don't know. It's a lot to digest, but